Michelle Geely is on the ground following this vehicle as well. We want to go back to her. Michelle?
That's right, Pat. I'm actually monitoring the chase on the police scanner, and what I've been able to hear is that a unit did, in fact, pull up next to the Bronco, but the police or the sheriff's deputies inside were not able to tell whether or not there was, in fact, someone in the back seat. Earlier, as you heard me tell you, some transmission came over the police scanner saying that the passenger of the vehicle, who is believed to be the 187 or murder suspect, once again, we believe that to be O.J. Simpson, was holding a handgun to the back of his head. Apparently, he was in the back of the vehicle, 91. Unable to be seen, though, by CHP officers and deputies who were following. Now, as we also indicated, it appeared at one time as though the police may have been in contact with the vehicle over the cell phone. I would say about 45 minutes to an hour ago, we heard a transmission that the deputies and law enforcement were keeping track of this vehicle by the cell phone calls that were made. They were able to track the car, so perhaps they were able to get the phone number and call. We haven't heard any phone conversations, though, of late over the police scanner, and we are attempting to catch up with the chase on the ground, and it's quite slowly. We've heard speeds anywhere from 40 to 45 miles an hour, so it looks as though the vehicle perhaps doesn't want to let the police think that they're trying to speed ahead and perhaps cause any sort of accidents or whatnot on the freeway.
Well, Michelle, it looks like they're onto the 91 freeway now, and a rather strange sight to see other vehicles on the highway actually in front. Rob, if you're still on the air with this, can you pull out a little bit so we can see a shot?
Yeah, Pat, here we go. We'll pull out, and right now we are on the 91 freeway. Now, they have not blocked off this freeway. We'll just give you a quick little shot here, give you the proximity again. And right now there appears to be quite a few cars not more than a half a mile ahead. And I haven't seen any more CHP officers along this except for the ones that are following the white Bronco at this time.
So evidently, the only recognized individual in this vehicle thus far has been the driver. There is somebody driving the vehicle, nobody in the passenger seat, and a question as to whether or not somebody is in the back portion of the Ford Bronco. And I guess it'll be up to Michelle Geely to verify that, or presumably police have absolutely verified that somebody is in the vehicle along with the driver. So we will have to wait and hear if Michelle can pick that up on the police radios.
Yeah, David, of course, from our point of view, of course, we can't see as to who's in there at all right now. But again, just kind of going to take the time and patience of the officers down below just to kind of follow the vehicle and decide what they want to do. But again, as we always have seen in pursuits, and again, this is nothing but a pursuit at this point in time, although it's a very high profile at this time, they will just kind of hang back and let the pursuit progress and see exactly what happens. But again, trying to make it as safe as possible and not try to intimidate the driver, whoever that might be at this point.
The license plate, can we confirm that that is the license plate that is on the All Points Bulletin that police issued earlier today?
Well, Pat, from our point of view, of course, we're too high, and we tried getting lower earlier, and we could not get our lens tight enough to find out and make sure that this was the exact license plate. But we have heard that the police have confirmed this is the suspect vehicle, which you have the number in front of you, 3 DHY 503. It is a California plate, and that seems to be the vehicle that all the highway patrol are following. And of course, you can see they're lined up abreast and following the vehicle at a very slow pace, just trying to keep it as safe as possible.
You can almost determine from where you are, Rob, that I guess there is nobody in the passenger seat itself. It's, if there is another passenger, they are not sitting there anyway.
Well, David, at the altitude that we're at, we're at 1,200 feet right now, as per request by the law enforcement. It's very difficult for us to tell. I don't know how much tighter Jeff can get with the lens that we have here, but and he says that's as tight as we can go right now. So from our vantage point, we cannot tell exactly how many are in the vehicle at all.
Okay, Rob, hold on for a moment again. We'd like to go back to Michelle. And Michelle, we want to ask you if you've heard over the scanner the license plate or the confirmation of the license plate.
No, it's not great.
being that as the same on this vehicle?
I have not, Pat, heard anything about a license plate number, although when this call first came out, what I heard on the police scanner was a sighting of the 187 suspect vehicle. That was all that we had heard. We had not heard anything about a license plate number. So I'm just assuming that when the deputies and the CHP officers caught up with this vehicle, they were able to confirm that indeed this is the suspect 187, the murder suspect vehicle. A couple of other things that I've been able to ascertain here just listening to the scanner. There are apparently 18 units and 1 canine unit following here, and one of those officers is apparently a hostage negotiator. They wanted to make sure that a hostage negotiator was a part of this convoy here. We also heard that a traffic brake was being run along the 91 freeway, so fairly soon we should see cars getting out of the way, and that this Bronco would be isolated here along the roadway.
So we can presume, I guess, Michelle, then a lot of activity on the cell phone that we believe is inside the Ford, and you have not heard an update as to the status of the, as again we presume, 2 men inside the Ford.
That's right, and repeating once again, when this whole thing began, I heard the officers talking about a suspect believed to be in the back of the vehicle holding a gun to his head. Obviously, we have no confirmation of that, and I also heard that an officer attempted to pull up alongside the vehicle to try and determine whether anyone was, in fact, in the back. They couldn't tell. From my vantage point, watching our Sky 9 video, it looks as though the windows may be tinted. I don't know if that's what you've been able to tell.
It appears that way from the vantage point that we have looking from Sky 9. Can you give us your location real quickly, Michelle, or the location now of the Ford?
Let me see if I can pick it up on the scanner. We are stuck in traffic on the 5, attempting to get on the 91, but when I last heard, they were on the westbound 91 around, it says going under Artesia Boulevard, speeds of 45 miles an hour, westbound 91, and they have instructed all of the vehicles to stay behind the Bronco.
All right, Michelle. Bob, are you still on the air?
Right here, Pat.
Looks like traffic is almost stopped on the other side.
Yeah, it seems to be that way, and the traffic up above is still, in fact, I'm trying to look down through my lower window. It appears that CHP has stopped traffic on the on-ramps coming onto the 91 westbound, just to let the officers proceed at a nice pace coming through here. Again, they don't want anything to happen to this suspect vehicle. They want to try to keep it as safe as possible. But there's definitely a crowd growing on every overpass that we see, vehicles and people that want to get a glimpse and see if this is in fact OJ coming down the freeway.
It's true, Rob. The entire city seems to know what's going on, whether it be from television or radio.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, this thing has been going on now since Monday, and especially with the craziness of today's events, everybody wants to know what's going on. I'm sure many can't believe that this has happened, especially that he has run from the scene and didn't come to be arraigned. And everybody's just so confused about what's going on. So now maybe this will all come to light once they do get the suspect vehicle stopped and be able to figure out exactly what's going on and why these events have occurred in the order that they have all day long.
Editorial comment here. I guess this really also just goes to show, I don't want to say how huge this entire incident is, but that also speaks to the media, if you will, of O.J. Simpson. I don't remember ever seeing anything like this where people are lined up
on overpasses,
on the streets, on overpasses, right, on the freeways. People apparently know O.J. Simpson and connect with him in some kind of way.
Absolutely.
Show this next overpass, John.
Absolutely. It is an absolutely remarkable scene. And as we heard, Rob, there's the overpass. Look at that.
That's incredible.
And this has been happening in every overpass that we've come to, Pat. You know, whether they're hearing it on the radio, catching it on the TV, and then just making a quick exit out of their houses to get to these locations just to see if they can get a glimpse. It's a crazy scene out here today.
Well, this is obviously what everyone is talking about.
No question about that.
No question about it.
There are cars stopped on the side of the freeway, as you can see, on either side. In fact, again,
Pat, we're just now crossing the 605 at the 91. So we're starting to get up into the Long Beach area, or actually northeast Long Beach.
I was going to say, Rob, where is this likely to take us? Is he most likely to end up on the 405 at some point?
Well, David, the 405 is not too much farther down the 91. The next major we'll come to will be the Long Beach or the 710 freeway. Then after that would be the 110 freeway, and then after that you'd hit the 405. So I mean, at this point we really have no idea which or where the final destination may be for purported O.J. Simpson inside this white Bronco.
This freeway.
Certainly we do not know what's on their minds in terms of what they are going to do. Of course, the police are hoping that this vehicle will pull over, or the driver will pull the vehicle over,
right,
and a peaceful arrest, if that's the right word, will be made, or the question certainly be asked, and that this ends in a peaceful manner.
And as Pat mentioned, the freeway scene is just so unprecedented, and we would ask you, Rob, just to pull out a little bit wider as you track the vehicle here, just to show the public interest in this on both sides of the freeway, as we were saying, not to mention all the overpasses that they pass underneath here. But it really has been a remarkable show of the people who have been on the freeway. Again, nobody ahead of the vehicle, Rob, right?
Let's see, David. I've got right now. It's passing one vehicle on the right.
Yes.
There's some cars on the freeway. Maybe everybody doesn't know what's going on yet at this point.
Or they're pulling over and getting out of the way.
Absolutely. Yeah. But up ahead, and I'm just going to kind of let Jeff take the camera and pan around, then we'll come back to the suspect vehicle. But now you can get an idea. I've just kind of had to put the helicopter in a crab here. Now you can kind of see of what's going on. Now, you've got traffic in the southbound or the eastbound lanes is fairly heavy, but in the westbound lanes, which are the direction that this vehicle is moving, are all, it's fairly light. People have pulled off to the side. So at this point, you know, again, it is a pursuit, and that's, I'm sure, the way that CHP is dealing with this situation. The main thing, again, is we'll say, and I'm sure I'll say it a couple more times before we're finished here, is that they want to try to keep it as peaceful and safe as possible, and without any intimidation, or as little as intimidation as possible with the vehicle.
Are you in Bellflower now?
Very close to that, Pat. You know, just traveling along the roads, I'm not exactly sure which ones we're coming up. It appears right now we're coming up on Lakewood Boulevard at the 91. Just
reminding ourselves here, taking a look at the freeway layout, this freeway, the 91, actually terminates at the 110. And it turns into Artesia Boulevard at that point. Yeah, and at the 110, they have to make a decision if they go that far to go north or south, either up toward downtown or, in fact, swing south toward what would be Long Beach.
That's correct, David. It's going to be, we're just going to have to wait and see at this point and see exactly what is going to go on and take place. Again, it's a very crazy day, and if this is the way it ends, it's a rather unusual way to end this situation, and that it has involved O.J. Simpson.
Okay, Rob, stand by again. We're going to go to Michelle Geely, who is on the ground. Michelle, what's your location now?
We are once again stuck in traffic. I have a feeling that it's backed up all the way into Anaheim here. That's what we're seeing. It looks as though the traffic is moving very slowly. The latest information that I heard was that they were passing Lakewood Boulevard. Actually, I think they're a little bit west of that on the 91, still driving between speeds of, say, 45 and 50 miles an hour. Just to repeat some of the things that we had heard earlier, there are apparently 18 vehicles, CHP units, and a canine unit involved in this pursuit, as well as a hostage negotiator in case it, obviously, at the time of the car stop, the person inside the vehicle who we believe to be O.J. Simpson, the suspect. They had mentioned earlier on the police scanner here that the suspect had a gun if they need to do some negotiating once this comes to an end.
Michelle, we're just getting another report. Reuters news service is quoting police sources as saying that O.J. Simpson is in this car. They had seen him pressing a gun to his head, and he had demanded to be taken to his mother. This is Reuters news service quoting police sources as saying that this is what has happened.
And that, of course, would mean that they would be on their way back to O.J. Simpson's home in Brentwood, which was the last that we had seen, the location that his mom had spent her time. So presumably that would be their destination if, in fact, this turns out to be true. But that apparently taken from information that the police have released as to their conversations with O.J. Simpson, evidently, inside the Ford Bronco. Are you still there, Michelle?
I am here. I am monitoring the scanner here to try and bring you up to date on any other developments. Primarily what they're saying over the police radio is the speed limit and the location of the vehicle. And I'm trying to get a new intersection for you here.
Okay, we can go, Michelle, to Rob Marshall real quickly and get an update on the location. Rob, where are you now?
Just still going westbound 91, just approaching the 710 freeway. Now we'll just have to wait and see. According to the lanes, it looks like he is moving over into the number 1 lane, which would indicate to me that he is going to continue right along the 91 westbound. So again, approaching the 710 at the 91 westbound, very slow, David. Right now I'm indicating 55 miles an hour airspeed. It could be a little bit slower down on the ground. But just look at, just look at the lineup here of the CHP units following this vehicle. And again, the traffic here has, it looks like, still got a few people on the freeway, but